Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here, and welcome back to another installment of the Now Review. And we have a brand new spin-off to look at today, the start of, well, seemingly a brand new series, or maybe an expansion of something we've had before, but this is an album looking at 12-inch mixes. I'll explain all in just a moment, but the title of today's release is called Now 12-inch 80s 1980. So for anyone who doesn't know what a 12-inch record refers to, so in the 70s and more popularly in the 80s, singles were normally released on 7-inch vinyl discs, small little things, but then the 12-inch was the size of a full album, like that was the typical size of an album record, but it contained mixes that were much longer, mixes that were 5, 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9 or 10 minutes long, so extended mixes of your favourite tracks. And as I say, this really got popular in the 1980s, and now's dabbled with 12-inch releases before. We've had now 12-inch 80s, we had 3 of those of course, and we had now 12-inch 70s as well, so it seems we're returning to that, but now going on an individual year-by-year basis, this first one being, as it says, 1980. So before we look at the track list, let's look at the cover. You can see it's a lovely shade of purple here, and you can see that the title is nicely contrasted. It's a fading colour, it starts at the top with a blue, and then it goes more into like a, I don't know what you call it, like a green, like aqua colour. The camera may not be picking it up in the best light, but it's a lovely fading colour. Honestly, I really like it. You'll notice on the bottom left there's like little sound waves there. I'm not sure what that's supposed to represent. Maybe that might be a regular recurring motif on these releases. We'll just have to wait and see. But now does that sometimes. They'll include little like random symbols or little features on their covers that don't really give away immediately what they represent, but hey, it's here, and I'm not opposed to it. It looks alright. I also like how the number 1980 is styled like in that very early like digital watch or alarm clock style. It just, it's very retro, it's very of the time. So let's flip this on over and take a look at the all-important track list. Okay, so kicking off CD1, we have Blondie and Call Me, the original 12-inch version. Then we have Lip Sync with Funky Town, one of the biggest hits of 1980 for sure. This is the full 12-inch version. We have Sheila and Be Devotion with Spacer, again the full-length version. Diana Ross with I'm Coming Out, the full-length version. Kool and the Gang with the 12-inch edit of Celebration, arguably their biggest hit. The Gap Band with Oops Upside Your Head, always popular at weddings, the 12-inch single version of that. You have Change with Searching, the 12-inch version. You have Narada Michael Walden with I Shoulda Loved Ya, the 12-inch version of that. Aretha Franklin with What a Fool Believes, of course the 12-inch version. Crown Nights Affair with You Gave Me Love, the 12-inch mix. And we round off with Donna Summer, the Queen of Disco herself, and Walk Away, once again the 12-inch version. So 11 tracks, and again, that might seem like not many, but again, these are all basically extended mixes. Most of these songs are a minimum of 5 minutes, some going on to 7 or 8 minutes, so more space on a CD, less tracks overall, but that's 11 tracks on CD1. Then we have CD2, which kicks off with Spandau Ballet, and to cut a long story short, I always thought that was a hit in 1981, but I guess I must be getting my dates muddled up. You have Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark with Messages, one of their earliest hits. Oddly, this is the 10-inch single version. Doesn't that kind of defeat the whole point of this being a 12-inch album? I don't know. Sparks with When I'm With You, the full-length version. Toya, who also is here with the full-length version of Aya. UB40 and The Earth Dies Screaming. Lynx with You're Lying, the long version. Tom Brown with Funkin' for Jamaica, a remix. Jermaine Jackson with Let's Get Serious, the 12-inch version. And that was arguably, I'd argue that was his biggest hit, or still most popular enduring hit, if you like. Leon Haywood with Don't Push It, Don't Force It, the 12-inch version. You have Bobby Thurston with Check Out the Groove, again the full-length version. Tina Marie with Behind the Groove, the 12-inch version. Groove was clearly a popular word back then. And Gladys Knight and the Pips with Taste of Bitter Love, once again the 12-inch version. Another 12 tracks there, that's 23 so far. CD3 kicks off with Ottawan and DISCO, or Disco, the 12-inch English version. You have Odyssey with Use It Up and Wear It Out, the 12-inch single edit. Liquid Gold with Dance Yourself Dizzy, the 12-inch mix. Kelly Marie with Feels Like I'm in Love, the 12-inch version. I've always really liked that song. A lot of people don't, but I've got a soft spot for it. You have The Village People with Can't Stop the Music, the 12-inch version. Grace Jones with her version of Love is the Drug, the long version. Amy Stewart and The Letter. Boney M with My Friend Jack. Stacey Lattisaw with Jump to the Beat. Teddy Pendergrass with Love TKO, the full-length version. And UB40 are here again, would you believe, with Dream a Lie, the 12-inch version of that. So another 11 tracks, which means we're on 34. And CD4, we have the Queen of Disco again, Donna Summer with On the Radio, the 12-inch version. Change again with Glow of Love. The Spinners with Working My Way Back to You / Forgive Me Girl. the Gibson Brothers with Cuba, Viola Wills with If You Could Read My Mind, Stephanie Mills with Never Knew Love Like This Before, Loliata Holloway with Love Sensation, a Tom Moulton mix. This song is sample heaven, like this sample's been used for several dance songs later down the line. Just give it a listen, you'll know exactly what I mean. The SOS Band with Take Your Time, Do It Right, Shalimar with I Owe You One, Sister Sledge with Got to Love Somebody, and we round off with The Whispers, and the beat goes on, the extended version. So another 11 tracks there, which means, folks, we have 45 tracks on this 4-disc album, 45 extended mixes. So just opening this up a sec, you can see that obviously we have adverts for other, like the 80s yearbooks, for example. Oddly enough, we have the 12-inch 70s advertised, which I get makes sense, you know, it's the 12-inch, but I thought they would have advertised 12-inch 80s, the other releases of that, but there you go. Obviously, it's asking you to follow them on all the social medias, and the discs, and very similar in nature to the front cover. They're obviously in different shades of various colours. So CD1 is a lovely like navy blue, CD2 is more of that like aquarish colour, I guess, CD3 is more of a light blue, and CD4 is in purple. So nice array of discs there. Again, I like how the logo has been translated nicely in white onto the disc. Yeah, nice and simple yet effective, though that little soundbar icon isn't on these discs, which seems a bit of an odd omission considering you had it on the cover. So yes, what do I think then of this package? Well, I'm a big fan of the 12-inch mix, like the whole concept and style of it. I've always enjoyed those like extended dance mixes, full-length versions, especially songs I really like. And 1980, obviously I know they're starting at the start of the decade. That was a weird year for pop music. You know, disco was fading out and the 80s didn't really know what it wanted to be yet. So you have disco remnants, obviously like DISCO, Funky Towns here, for example, but then you also had other songs that strayed away from that. It's just, I always found 1980 a very odd year. And of course, since you're only focusing on one year and you're only focusing on like 12-inch mixes or extended mixes, I guess that maybe limits the pool of songs or artists that you can draw from, because not every hit song in 1980 had a 12-inch version, like a full-length version. Again, the concept was still sort of growing in popularity. It was mainly still popular in the clubs and stuff. I'd say it was more like the mid to late 80s when the idea of 12-inch singles became like really, really popular. So I guess the pool of artists was a bit more limited, hence why you have repeat people coming up, you know, people like Donna Summer, Change, UB40, etc. But yeah, I'm actually really intrigued in the series. On the Now website, it does say this is a brand new series. This is the first installment. So, you know, in time, expect to see Now 12-inch 80s, 1981, 82, and so forth. Which, you know, I'm down for the series. I love the 12-inch idea, the 12-inch concept of music. So I'm all for it. But again, if longer mixes of popular songs aren't your thing, then maybe stay away from this, because again, these range from like 5 to 10 minutes long, and I know some people want those shorter, the single edits, so just bear that in mind. In terms of where you can get it from, all the usual places. I get mine from HMV, as ever, and that cost me £11 for the disc. On the Now website, it does say $9.99, but there will be postage charges in there as well, so be careful if you're ordering online. Places like Amazon will stock it as well, maybe your local supermarket if you're lucky, like Asda's or Morrison's, some places that still stock CDs, you might get lucky there. But yes, just bear in mind that whole 12-inch record concept. If you don't like longer mixes of songs, then this album is certainly not for you. But if you're on board with it like I am, you'll love it. And that's all for this installment of the Now Review. Thank you very much for watching. As ever, if you enjoyed it, please do leave a like on the video. It really does help us out. And let me know in the comments down below, are you going to be picking up this album? And if you are, is there any particular favourite song you have? Or are you going to pass on this one entirely? Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new as well. We'd love to have you aboard. I've been Adam Martin from AMTV Now. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time for another spin on the turntable.